I always knew my little brother would become somebody. But I had no idea. No one did. That he would break world records. But it didn't come without opposition.
So let's go to the beginning. Where did this idea for Carman the movie begin?
I've been a big Carman fan my whole life. I was impressed, fatherless home growing up, and so he was kind of like a big brother, father figure almost in a way, spiritually anyway.
The only numbers he cared about night after night were how many people got saved.
I got to meet him on a tour bus that he was on, and then we just started talking after that. He told me about his life and his family and growing up in Jersey, and it was just a great story, and I was like, this has got to be a movie.
And how did you come to get connected to the project?
You know, I got a call one day from Jack, and he said, hey, listen, I got the life rights for Carman, and would you like to help me write the screenplay? And I said, let's do it.
Guys from our streets? Oh yeah. They were in the business of making people pray, all right. Just not the way you think.
So what are you envisioning for production? How much have you got mapped out?
All of it.
Wow.
Everything's done. We have even some of the casting done that we're really excited to share with you, and made some decisions on that, and we know who Carman is going to be. That's been the big question leading up to this. Who's Carman going to be?
My brother should have gone a whole different direction. But once he found God, that was it.
Finally, we found somebody. We'll tell you.
Yes, I want to know.
You want to know who it is?
Yes.
All right, we'll tell you who it is. It's an incredible actor. His name is Joe Chambrello, and he has just embodied who Carman is. And not only that, he is a dead ringer. I'm talking to Joe, we're looking at Joe, and it's just like, there he is. It's Carman, you know? And so we got really close, and so it's, in a way, it's kind of like Carman's really there. Maybe he is.
No, I think so. And I felt Carman through the whole, I've never met Carman, but I felt him kind of watching over the whole thing as we were creating this proof of concept, as we were writing it too. You know, as Jack and I were writing it, to be able to, for me, I felt like I know Carman. I've never met him, but I feel like I know him right now.
And are we not even going to talk about or address these suggestive lyrics from these so-called Christian songs? Huh?
Yeah. So-called.
Okay. Oh yeah. No.
Why do you think Carman wants this story told? Why would he want?
His goal was to use his life story as a tool to bring more people to Jesus. And so it's kind of amazing, actually, that after he's gone, that his life is still going to continue to bring people to Christ.
Carman, it doesn't make any sense. Free concerts? It goes against the proven business model for the entire music industry.
This is an opportunity for people to hear the gospel, right?
Oh, okay, but how do you expect us to make money?
From both of you, if you could describe this story and who Carman was, what would you say?
Everything in Carman's life centered around Jesus. He got saved when he was 21. The day he got saved, he just was committed to learning as much as he could about Jesus and the gospel. And so his entire life is really kind of almost an underdog story. If you when you find out in this movie as a kid how Carman, the conditions that he grew up in, he had a great family, but not necessarily a Christian family, and he had a lot of obstacles to overcome. And so once you see that and you see the gritty kind of streets of Jersey, what that was like in the 60s, and by all accounts, he shouldn't have become who he became. And it was because of that commitment when he was 21 and got saved that he put all of that aside and said he was very focused on it. And so it's about Jesus. It's about winning the lost, and you know, he'd be happy about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's a guy who is a good-looking guy. He's very talented. Could have gone the worldly route. And this, to me, was what has impressed me the most about Carman, was the fact that he could have gone this route, you know, and you know, become a sex symbol or whatever, right? But he said, no, I'm going to do this because the world needs more Jesus, right? And so that was all what Carman's all about, was spreading the word.
He really believed that God could use anybody to accomplish his will, anybody that God decided he wanted to use.
We could debate biblical beauty standards all day long here. But do you know what's really hot? Hell. I'd rather pack out arenas for free than let a single soul end up there.